Hi Colt, Shyla Colt here again with another vlog. If you remember before when I got my Sapphire Soul Box last week, I had a Rose of Jericho and it was really scrunched up and brown. Well, I added a little water and some sunlight and it is coming along quite nicely. And as I understand, it will continue to open up and get more green. And the coolest thing about it is once you let it dry out and dehydrate, it goes back to that state where it was before, kind of closed up on itself, and you can do this over and over and over and over again. This is a desert plant, so I guess it's just one of the ways that it's really adapted to its environment. And I thought about that as I was thinking about what I was going to do today, because I'm between boxes, and I thought we're all kind of like this Rose of Jericho. When we don't take care of ourselves, when we don't feed our creativity and do the things that we like, we do kind of sort of dehydrate and curl up on ourselves. And then as we break out of our shell, we open up and we blossom, which led me into one of the questions that I am asked most often, which is, what is the hardest part about writing? The hardest part about writing is writing. All right, what do you mean? Being inspired to constantly create is an exhausting endeavor, because it really does take so much out of you to create these characters and tell their stories, but then also, you know, after you're all done with that and you're moving on to the next one, to be inspired by something and keep it fresh and keep it new. That's always very important to me. So I spend a lot of time trying to stay inspired and trying to tackle things that mean something to me. That being said, you guys know that I've been writing longer books, and it's been an interesting sort of transformation. It's very different when you go from writing shorts, 30Ks to the 60Ks, the 70Ks. It takes something different. It takes a little bit more out of you. And I had found when I was done, I almost kind of went into a little bit of a slump for a few days, because you're decompressing from everything you've put into it. And this has been a rather emotional writing year for me. I've been tackling issues that are very near and dear to me and personal. And I just sort of wanted to sort of talk about that. You'll be seeing For the Love of Dixie in October. And it deals with racism, which obviously you could understand why. That's kind of a big one for me. And it also deals with self-harm, and it deals with depression and bullying. Which is something I feel strongly again about, and I take a very strong stance to. And I really wanted to show the effects of that. I think back before, when I was younger, it was there, but it wasn't something that was recognized. It was sort of a sticks and stones will break my bones, and words will never hurt me. But I mean, we all know that words really do linger, and if you hear them enough, they sort of become the soundtrack in your head that you may believe. And so I really wanted to talk about that. And then when I got finished with that, the strangest thing happened. I sat down and I started mapping out my plans for next year, and I realized that it's going to be a very good year for Dueling Devils. And I started writing it, and what I ended up coming up with was actually a story called Hold On, Pain Ends. And it's going to be releasing October the 17th, the next Dueling Devils story. And I'm going to read a little bit about it right now. It's going to star Artie's sister, Birdie, who was mentioned in the previous books. So you'll also get to see a lot more of Demon and Artie than you used to. I know you guys have been really missing them. So I'm going to read a little bit now. Being around death did funny things to people. Birdie Larkin had seen it time and time again during her first year working at hospice. Staring mortality in the face forced you to ask some tough questions, like what you wanted to leave behind to be remembered by, and what you'd regret if you left this world tomorrow. The eye-opening experience had cracked the shell of shyness and self-doubt that had held her hostage for more years than she cared to count. Little by little, she discovered who Birdie Larkin was and wanted to be. Most people thought hospice was a depressing gig, but it wasn't. The journey to the end of life was about love, care, and support. It was a beautiful, poignant process she was proud to be a part of. The job saved her life. She spent her life imprisoned by a shell of shyness and self-doubt she couldn't break through. One of a handful of interracial children in a small southern town that used the word traditional to cover up racism and small-mindedness, she'd faced her fair share of bullying. When you added that to the fact that she took after her stocky father with her round frame and extra padding, you had the perfect storm. Here she'd learn the outer shell truly didn't matter because it faded away. In the end, the only thing truly evergreen and eternal was a soul. As she immersed herself in service to others, she gained confidence and an understanding of her desires and goals. Artie was a catalyst lighting a fire in her. If she could move away and thrive, why not her? There were too many bad memories here and lack of opportunity that limited her growth. Once she had enough experience under her belt, moving on to greener pastures was the plan. And that's just a little bit, giving you sort of a glimpse into Birdie's life. I'm really, really engrossed in this story right now. It's flowing really well, and I'm very excited to sort of present it to you. I think it's a little bit different from some of my other stories, and maybe it's moving in the sort of progression that I'll be following in 2016 that I'm pretty excited about. So we will be saying goodbye to a few of our old friends. I will be finishing up Wesson Rebels series with Houdini's book, which will be called Hail to the Chief. And then we'll be getting some new series, which I'll talk about later, but not quite yet. Also, as we were talking about renewal, you guys know I'm huge on music. I had someone ask me, do I do playlists? I do playlists. They're in the beginning of my book. I also will post them on YouTube, so you can listen to them with the story if you'd like, or you could just listen to them later to sort of see the kind of mood that I was in as I was writing. I have been asked about Spotify. If you guys listen to Spotify, let me know. It will be possible for me to start posting them there as well. Also want to mention my latest musical obsession right now as I'm writing is actually Machine Gun Kelly. He's like everything right now. He's all in my soundtracks. Very inspirational, and I actually am counting down till I get to see him next month. So I'm super excited about that. If you've never listened to him, check out some of the stuff that he has. It's a rap, but it's actually some really deep lyrics going on there. So if you're about lyrics and you like lyricists, he's someone that you should definitely know. And I'm going to sign off on that note. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.